Bandits kill 4 soldiers in Zamfara State. Former Governor Yari is distributing assorted food items to members of the APC. 117 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country. On business, workers about fire disaster at CBN Jos Branch. And on the international scene, President of Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Liberia, and Benin Republic mourn Abakari. Hello viewers, welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. No fewer than 4 soldiers were on Monday killed by bandits in Zurumi local government area of Zamfara State. According to a source in the area who pleaded not to be mentioned, the 4 soldiers were killed in an ambush attack on the troops on Monday. A credible source close to troops of Operation Hadarin Daji said the soldiers were taken unawares by the bandits in the bushes between Birani and Garinkada village of Zurumi local government area. He said the troops were conveying food supplies to their colleagues on guard in the bushes when the ambush attack occurred. He said that the bandits who took advantage of their good knowledge of the bushes waited for the unsuspecting troops, and immediately they approached their hideout. The bandits opened fire on the soldiers, during which 4 soldiers were killed instantly. He further stated that 2 of the troops' operational vehicles were completely burnt by the bandits during the encounter. However, Blueprint reports that already the first commander of the OPHD, who is also the general officer commanding 1 Division Sokoto Brigadier General Aminu Bande, had visited the scene of the attack for an assessment of the situation. A correspondent gathered that the soldiers also immediately swung into action and killed about 30 bandits, which forced the bandits to flee, leaving some of their assault weapons, in which about 10 AK-47 rifles were said to have been recovered. Zamfara State former Commissioner of Education Mohammed has declared that All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State, led by former Governor Abdulaziz Yari, has concluded plans to commence the distribution of assorted food items to the party members across the 14 local government areas of the state, as part of the concern the party has for the state government lockdown order and incoming Ramadan fasting. The former commissioner, who made a declaration during a telephone conversation with some reporters of Standard Voice Television, noted that 11-member committee have been set up in all the 14 local government chapters of the party, with a view to ensuring that the intervention has reached all the wards and polling units across the state, adding that the food items have already arrived at Gusau, the state capital, and the trucks are being directed to head to the designated local government councils for distribution. Alhaji Mutakarini, who gave the breakdown of the foodstuff to include 6,000 bags of rice, 3,000 bags of maize, 3,000 bags of millet, 6,000 bags of guinea corn, and 2,000 bags of sugar to each of the 14 local government areas of the state, explained that this will be the highest donation ever made since the commencement of this pandemic. He added that a total of 6,000 bags of rice, 3,000 bags of millet, 6,000 bags of guinea corn, 3,000 bags of maize, and 2,000 bags of sugar have been provided for the state secretariat of the party, noting that the distribution may likely commence today. On why the intervention was not handed down to the State Government Committee on the fight against COVID-19, the former commissioner explained that the committee, since its inauguration, has not contacted the opposition and that not a single member of the opposition parties is co-opted into the committee. He explained that the intervention to be distributed is going to be restricted to APC members alone, adding that the 11-man committee members are cautioned to take further steps of constituting ward committees in order to ensure that the food items reach all deserving members of the APC in Zamfara State. The federal government has postponed the senior school certificate examination organized by the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, and the National Examination Council (NECO) for 2020 over coronavirus outbreak. Mr. Emeka Wajibu, Minister of State for Education, announced this during a press briefing on Tuesday. He said the students can learn online. They have made a lot of provision for that. The director of FCT has also opened a portal for the process. A number of new COVID-19 cases have been reported in the country. A breakdown of the cases shows that 59 have been recorded in Lagos State, 29 in FCT, 14 in Kano State, 6 in Borno State, 4 in Katsina State, 3 in Ogun, 1 in River, and 1 in Bauchi State. As at 11:25 p.m. yesterday, there are 782 confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in Nigeria, 197 discharged, and 25 deaths. President Mohammed Buhari has called for urgent measures towards the speedy trial of cases and the congestion of custodial centers in the country in view of COVID-19 pandemic. According to President Muhammadu Buhari, from available records, the inmate population at various custodian centers across the country presently stands at about 74,127, out of which 52,226 are awaiting trial persons. In view of the above scenario, the President said it has become imperative for the Lordship to request state chief judges to embark on immediate visit to all custodian centers within their respective state to identify and release deserving inmates where that has not been done already. He noted that during such visit, the chief judges are enjoined to consider conditional or unconditional release of ATPs who have spent 6 years or more in custody. ATPs who have not confirmed criminal cases against them, aged inmates, and terminally ill may be discharged. It is expected that particular attention should be on the aged, those with health issues, low-risk offenders, those with no sufficient legal basis to remain in custody, inmates convicted for minor offenses with or without option of fines, and inmates who have less than 3 years' term left to serving, having served a substantial term of their service for offenses that attract 5 years and above. Payments of fines may be made in favor of inmates convicted of lesser offenses with option of fine who are in custody because of their inability to pay such fines. President Muhammad Buhari said a report on the proposed visit is expected to be forwarded to the Presidential Committee on Correctional Service Reform and the Conjunction Secretariat, Federal Ministry of Justice, Abuja, for compilation and onward transmission to his office. The Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed on Tuesday confirmed the 8 cases of the new coronavirus in the state as another staff of the World Health Organization tested positive to the disease. Governor Mohammed revealed the new cases while briefing journalists at the end of an extraordinary stakeholder meetings on the COVID-19 pandemic. The governor chaired the meeting where the issue of the lockdown of the state was discussed ahead of the coming Islamic holy month of Ramadan. At the end of the meeting, the attendees, which cut across traditional and religious leaders as well as security chiefs and government officials, agreed that only a partial lockdown would be feasible in Bauchi State. Governor Mohammed, who delivered a summary of the closed-door meeting that lasted about 2 hours, said though more cases of the COVID-19 have been recorded, only partial lockdown would work for the government and people of the state. He said the partial lockdown was necessitated by the number of cases being recorded in some of the neighboring states. The Ekiti state government has identified a 4th case of coronavirus in the state as a medical doctor. The government said on Tuesday that the medical doctor was working in a private clinic before contracting the virus while treating the 3rd index case, a 29-year-old pregnant woman. The Commissioner for Health, Mojisola Yahaya Kolade, who made this known to journalists in Ado Ekiti, said only 1 doctor tested positive, with 15 others turning out negative among the samples taken to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Reacting to the development, the Nigerian Medical Association in the state expressed shock, calling for adequate protection for medical doctors in the state through provision of life insurance and other measures. The association, however, expressed happiness over the news that 15 other doctors working with the Federal Teaching Hospital Ado Ekiti tested negative, describing this as cheering news. The NMA State Chairman Tunji Omotayo also said there was a need for the government to boost the welfare of health workers working on the front line in the fight against the pandemic. After 3 years of struggling with diabetes, one of the President Muhammad Buhari's bodyguard, Warrant Officer Lawal Matu, on Tuesday passed away. The president described the officer, who had been working with him for many years before he won the 2015 election, as very thorough, trustworthy and dependable soldier who carried out his duty with diligence and focus. President Buhari prayed that Allah will ease his passage to paradise and grant his family, government and people of Jigawa State the fortitude to bear the loss. Late Lawal Matu was part of a team that former President Musa Yar'Adua restored to President Muhammad Buhari as personal security, and he had been off full duty for 3 years treating diabetes. Alright, viewers, we'll go on a short commercial break, and when we come back, Standard Voice Television News continues.
What is the novel coronavirus? When viewed under a microscope, coronaviruses can be seen to have a fringe, giving the appearance of a crown or a solar corona. The 2019 novel coronavirus can cause pneumonia in those who are infected, beginning with an elevated body temperature, fatigue, and dry coughing. This may lead to difficulty breathing and, in some cases, death. Currently, there is no effective cure for this. Compared to more familiar flu viruses, the novel coronavirus has a notably long period of incubation. It can take up to 2 weeks before a patient shows signs of infection. The coronavirus is typically spread through droplets of saliva in the air from sneezing and coughing, especially when an infected individual is in close proximity to others. In light of this, it's important to keep others at a distance and avoid crowded places to prevent infection. How can I prevent infection outside? When traveling distances, prioritize walking, bicycling, motorcycling, or taking your personal car. When taking public transportation, be sure to wear a mask. When in the workplace, keep a distance of 1.5 meters from anybody you must speak with. Avoid any meetings or gatherings in small, confined spaces. When eating at the same time as others, remember to keep your distance. Don't talk while eating. When shopping at places like supermarkets and shopping malls, try to go when less people are likely to be out. Try to avoid getting close to others. There will be more time for closeness in the future. What should I do if I'm showing signs of infection? If you're showing possible symptoms such as coughing or elevated body temperature, don't panic. Let's compare pneumonia brought about by the novel coronavirus to a cold and a flu. A cold is often caught in cold weather or as a result of exhaustion. Common cold symptoms include a stuffy nose, a runny nose, and sneezing. Full body symptoms are usually minor. A typical flu is caused by a common flu virus and can lead to respiratory tract infection. In addition to upper respiratory tract issues, those infected can also develop pneumonia. A flu is often accompanied by an elevated body temperature, headaches, muscle fatigue, and a loss of appetite. For those infected by the novel coronavirus, light symptoms will include elevated body temperature, coughing, and cold flashes, while the strongest symptom is having difficulty breathing, sometimes causing death. If your temperature exceeds 38 degrees and is accompanied by coughing or other symptoms, it's extremely important you get to a hospital to be checked to ensure that you are not infected and that you don't infect others. how can I prevent infection at home? First, you should limit how often you go outside and stay away from any crowded places. If you must go out, you should wear a face mask to help you prevent breathing in any particles containing the virus. Upon returning home, the first thing you should do is wash your hands. Wash with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Also, keep your home clean. Open windows and disinfect surfaces at a fixed time. Your immune system is vital. Be sure to get enough sleep, eat healthy, and exercise. These things will boost your immune system and help you if you should need to fight off the virus.
Welcome back on Business. Let me quickly take you to our business desk with Jemima Samuel.
Welcome to Business Desk. What would have been another major disaster in the country was yesterday averted by the staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Jos Branch. In a statement signed by the bank's Director of Corporate Communications, Mr. Isaac Okorafor, indicated that about 9:15 a.m. yesterday, Tuesday, 21st, 2020 of April, the fire alarm in Jos Branch was triggered, and in line with the bank's fire drill and protocol, the shelter staff on essential duty were promptly evacuated from the building to the muster point. Mr. Okorafor further stated that the branch controller quickly called the fire service at about 9:19 a.m. and noted that before their arrival, the bank's security staff, relying on information from the fire alarm dashboard, traced the fire to an air conditioner installed in the avatar room on the second floor of the building. The staff swiftly put out the fire with extinguishers and hydrants installed in the building. Mr. Okorafor stated that the affected room has since been cordoned off for further investigation while normal work has resumed at the branch. He assured the general public that the minor fire had been effectively put out and no damage was done to any records of the bank. And that's all we have on Business Desk today. I am Jemima Samuel. Thanks for watching.
And on the international scene, President Muhammad Buhari on Tuesday received more condolence messages from President of Guinea-Bissau, General Umaru Sissoko Embalo, Guinea-Conakry, Professor Alpha Khan, Liberian Dr. George Menewi, and Benin Republic Patrice Talon over passing of former Chief of Staff Malam Abba Kyari. Mr. Kyari actively contributed on strengthening relations and cooperation between the two countries, and he will be deeply missed and remembered for those of them who worked closely and shared experience with him. Others who sent messages to President Buhari are Mr. Kikuta Yutaka, Ambassador of Japan, Omba Olanga, Head of Mission, Embassy of the Republic of Congo, and Amadou S.O. Tal, Charge d'Affaires Gambia High Commission, the Embassy of the State of Libya, and Embassy of Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Ambassador Hassan Tukur, former Principal Secretary to President Goodluck Jonathan, Prince Mohammed Tony, former Minister of Information Nuratu Batagarawa, former Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, and Professor Dick Azingir, Benue State-born Professor of Law and Jurisprudence in United States, also commiserated with the President. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Bandits kills 4 soldiers in Zamfara State. Former Governor Yari is distributing assorted food items to members of the All Progressives Congress in the state. 117 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country. On business, workers about fire disaster at CBN Jos Branch. And on the international scene, President of Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Liberia, and Benin Republic mourn Abba Kyari. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of news and current affairs, Alhaji Ibrahim Garuba Tunel. I still remain Musa Joy. Stay tuned.